welcome to my brief video I have for you folks on this show called My Favorite Space Pictures. On this brief video, I'm going to be presenting to you folks pictures I've taken on vacation when I went to Chicago, Illinois, and visited the famous Adler Planetarium. I highly encourage you folks, if you ever get to Chicago, that area, to visit that place. It's really interesting and fun to be there while you can see all the different things they have there. Located next to the Adler Planetarium is a Shedd Aquarium on one side and the famous Soldiers Field on the other side, right next to Lake Michigan there, so you can't miss it when you go to Chicago. The second set of pictures I have for you folks to see on this brief video is my pictures I took when I went down to Huntsville, Alabama, to the U.S. Space and Rocket Museum. The Saturn V space program all started right there. It's got a space camp down there for the kids, but hey, it's a fascinating place to visit. So for now, I will begin with some pictures. And also, as I showed my TV audience out there, a picture here, I also have a close-up presented to you folks as well, so you can get a better view of what it's like to visit down there. When you go down and visit the Adler Planetarium, this will probably be the first thing you're going to see. The Adler Planetarium, that's what it looks like on the outside. It's a huge place, and it's really interesting. Once you can start walking around and seeing it, you can spend a whole day there like I did. And so that's what you'll see when you head in there. The next picture I have is of a space galaxy here. And it says on the side, this thing here, it says, it is a dynamic swirling disk of gas, dust, and stars in a constant violet motion, embedded in a sphere of mysterious matters. So when you get in there, you look around, you see it, you can just take your time and use your imagination of what it would be like to be on the Starship Enterprise, going to places where no man's gone before. The next set of pictures I got here is a display of rockets. We got the Saturn V, we got the, looks like the Space Shuttle, Saturn I's, all kinds of displays of different rockets. And here is a picture of what they look like. And also I will have a close-up on the picture itself. Just take your time when you walk through there, just get to know how the stages of the space program. And I remember growing up in elementary school, it was the Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo. Later on, I believe it came the Skylab, the Space Hubble telescope, and for you kids today, it was probably the Space Shuttle program that you are into. Just take your time, walk around the planetarium, take up a show. Planetarium, you can lean back in a nice comfortable chair, look up on the sky dome and relax, get lost in the space program that they show you there, and you'll have a good time. This here is a tool of observatories. Apparently, I believe this picture shows weather satellites taking pictures of the weather around the Earth. Well, you want to know when it rains, so you can take an umbrella with you, your raincoat. Maybe not ride your bicycle during that time when there's lightning outside, or when it snows and you have a school day off. I'm sure a lot of you kids would love that. But parents have to go out and shovel the snow. For older people, that's not so much fun. But these are the pictures of the, probably, I think, space satellites overlooking the Earth. The next picture, I believe, is a picture of the moon and the craters. and how deep the craters are when the asteroids hit the surface of the moon. And look at the sizes of the craters there. In fact, I think we have one that's in Arizona, I believe. There's a big crater that people like to go see when they go to Arizona of an asteroid that hit there. And a lot of neat things to see inside the planetarium. This here, I believe, is on the Mars rover, checking out the planet Mars, looking for Martians. Are they looking for Martians, maybe? And as you see on here, it's taking samples of the rocks, looking for water, I believe. They're looking for water. See if life can be sustainable on Mars. And I'll have a close-up picture of these two. And so, in the last picture I have from the planetarium inside is the rover itself. Now, how many of you kids would think that'd be fun to get something like that right across Mars? Just spend a whole day up there exploring a new planet. Being the first astronaut lady to Mars. And I'll have a close-up picture of that for you to see. Now, my next set of pictures I have for you folks is the U.S. Space and Rocket Museum, where, of course, I got my souvenir coffee cup here from. And it's located in Huntsville, Alabama. And if you folks get a chance to go down there, this is what you'll see. You'll see a picture of the outside. It's huge when you go down there. You can spend a whole day down there, so you might want to take more than just one camera with you. I guess nowadays you got cell phones that can take pictures. Take your cell phone camera with you. And on the outside, the next one is, of course, the name of the museum, the rocket, the Saturn V rocket, and the state flag of Alabama, red and white. So just see how big that rocket really is when you stand next to it. Now I'm going on the inside of the Rocket Museum. The first picture I have here is the Apollo 1, which was the original first mission that was planned, and the astronauts were White, Grissom, and Chaffee. And from where I live in Grand Rapids, Michigan, Roger B. Chaffee was from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Here's what you'll see. And we also have the Roger B. Chaffee Planetarium, which is a fascinating place for you folks to visit up here. Come up to see the museum. We also got the museum, our museum is right next to the planetarium. You can see a whole lot of interesting things in a whole day there. The next picture I have is what's called a Saturn V gyroscope. Now, here's a question for you kids out there into engineering or space. What does the gyroscope do for our rocket? If you can tell me the answer, you can email me. Send me the answer. Tell me what it is. Ask your teacher. Look how big that is. Now, when you walk into the Space Rocket Museum, you will see how it is split in 3 sections. And it's up in the air. So it's above you. When you're looking underneath it, you'll see exactly just how big the Saturn V rocket was. And we'll have a close-up picture of that one too. But the main thing is you really got to go down there in person to see this awesome place. They also have like IMAX theater, I think they call them nowadays, and that you can go in and they show a space program show for you folks, your kids, and it's like you're almost there in person. Now, this is what the space rocket looked like, well, the engines. Think of all the man hours that went into putting one engine together. And the engineers, the patience to do this. Took everybody working together to make the space program happen. Here is a picture of the Saturn rocket in a display case. Astronomy was one of my favorite subjects in school when I was in elementary school. I even started a rocket club. Those old Estes model rockets, you remember? Shoot them up, you have to go look for them. Always fun. Now, this next picture here is the rockets with a replica of a human being standing next to it, just to see how small we might feel standing next to something that big. Just look at the size of those engines. And we'll have a close-up picture of that too. And just a couple more pictures here. This one I'm not sure exactly what it is. Could be the Hubble Space Telescope, Skylab, not really sure, but if any of your kids might know that, maybe you can send me in the answer. So, a lot of neat things to see down there at the Rocket Museum and Space Center there. Take the kids, I think they have a space camp down there. The kids can get involved in during the summertime, learn all about rocket science. And my last picture of this video is, it looks like the Saturn I rocket. They have several of these outside, and but this is the last one I took down there. And as you can see, that too is still pretty tall. You have to really get up close to it to really appreciate the size of these things. And let's have a close-up on that too. My camera guy is doing a great job. I have to thank him for helping me make this video for you.